Welcome to NBA Breakdown Show, Episode 3. I'm your host, as always, Coach Gibson Pyper. First off, thank you guys for your support and kind words and your feedback. It's been greatly appreciated. I love hearing positive things about what I'm doing or what you guys want to see more of. We're going to start off with just a little bit of question and answer. I got one question for today that I'll answer for you guys. As always, if you have questions, just submit them below and I'll try to get the answers clear as I possibly can. Then we're going to look at how the Rockets absolutely destroyed the 76ers by using ball screens. It was pretty bad defense by the 76ers tonight. Then we're going to look, of course, at the sets that I liked from tonight's games and the action that I saw. So let's go ahead and get right into the question and answer. The question comes from Mark Marcel. Hope I'm pronouncing that right, Mark. Do you think Blake Griffin has solidified his superstar debate for the Pistons? I'll tackle that first. I don't think he's a superstar. I think he is extremely talented and is underrated at this point in his career. His ability to step out and hit the three, run a ball screen. They run that 4-5 ball screen with Andre Drummond. That's really difficult to guard. Superstar is in my opinion, the top 5 to 6 players in the league. I think he's very talented, top 25 probably right now. But when you think of a superstar, you're thinking of like Harden, LeBron, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, guys of those magnitude that can really change a game and win a championship. I think Blake Griffin's having a great year, a definitely deserved all-star, especially in the Eastern Conference when it's not that difficult. But he is struggling in some areas. He's not the same post-up player he once was. He's not really great as a pick-and-roll role man. He's more of a creator at this point in his career. So it's just interesting to see how his career trajectory went, how injuries kind of took away some of his athleticism and what he's transitioned into. And then the second half of the question, what's my view on Devin Booker, Kelly Oubre, Zach LaVine, Spencer Dinwiddie, Gallinari, potential franchise players for their teams? I think out of that group, the only potential franchise player is Devin Booker. His ability to score the basketball at an elite level has been awesome. See, his transition to point guard this year has gone pretty smoothly. I think the Phoenix Suns have been more efficient with him on offense as a starting point guard, which makes a lot of sense when you don't have a lot of talent. But like Oubre, Zach LaVine, Gallinari is probably a little too old in his career to be a potential franchise player. I think he's been great. He's been a huge part for the Clippers this year with their ball screen offense, and being able to stretch him out at the 4 and have him stay healthy has been a huge part as well. But Oubre and Zach LaVine to me are not, and they never will be. Oubre is a probably good 4th or 5th player on a championship team. He'll make a lot of money in his career, does some really nice things, getting some decent playing time in Phoenix. We can see a little more of what he can do. I think we need to see more from him though in the future. Zach LaVine is just, to me, just a volume scorer on a bad team, and those players are really never if those are your franchise players, and then you're in trouble. I think he's extremely talented. It may be a different situation where maybe next year the Bulls have a little more talent. They're actually, competing at a high level. They played well recently, but, just being on a bad team, he jacks up a lot of shots, can score the ball, really impressed with his scoring, but not a franchise player. Spencer Dinwiddie, I think he is a very talented guard, has played great in clutch. I think he's been really, really great for the Nets. The thing that the Nets do, though, is they make everybody look good or better than they are in certain situations just because of their skill development and their system. Reminds me a little bit of the Celtics over the last 3 or 4 years before they got the superstars, and the Celtics kind of overachieved with less talent. And it was more of a system, and I think that's what we're seeing with the Nets right now. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out in the future. I like Dinwiddie. I think he'll be a really good second point guard, or maybe even a lead guard. I just don't know if he can elevate a team to the next level, by himself, which is what you're talking about with franchise players. Great question, Mark. Thank you so much. If you guys have any other questions, please shoot them in the comments below. I'll try to get as many answered as possible, and we'll go from there. Let's get right into the 76ers and the Rockets. The Rockets really took off early in this game, and that was helped by the poor transition defense by the 76ers. The Rockets got out early and often with a couple of early pitch ahead threes. Here we can see an example of them with the spacing where Eric Gordon gets downhill and 76ers are trailing the ball and we get a layup. The next example, we can see Clint Capella just running down the middle of the floor with 5 76ers just spaced out and nobody really paying attention to who's got the rim run, who's got rim run responsibility there. And then late in the game, in the third quarter, when the game was pretty much in hand, you can see Harden just walk in basically for an easy transition layup. This flows into the 76ers guarding drag ball screens or spread ball screens. Here we see a backdoor cut from Gerald Green because Ennis falls asleep. Another example of a backdoor cut when Ben Simmons falls asleep. Austin Rivers cuts into space for a layup. And in isolation here, we do a good job by James Ennis guarding James Harden. But when on this kick, we see a backdoor cut and absolutely no help whatsoever and a dunk for Harden. Some more examples of the 76ers abysmal pick and roll defense. Here we see Gary Clark rolling, extra rotations, extra pass, wide open corner three. I mean, the Rockets are just basically playing and doing whatever they want. Here's a more example of some more spread pick and roll of how easy the Rockets had it. Here we see Capella just rolling to the rim. Nobody tags him, so it's an easy bounce pass for a dunk. Another example here, we have 2 on the ball. 2 guards on the weak side do not tag, so we just throw up to Capella, let him go be an athlete and finish. Another example of finding Capella on the roll here. We're going to see him roll right to the rim, a little between the legs pocket pass, and we get a foul from the second man tagging. Another thing that was just hilarious to me is it looked like James Harden attacking off the pick and roll here, just basically was kind of doing like drills. You can see literally no resistance whatsoever, just throwing the ball out to himself, just kind of playing catch with himself and going up and scoring layup after layup. Another example of this after kind of some action after a set is run, some delay action by the Rockets. We're going to see a pass to Austin Rivers, who just basically just turns the corner here off a little hesitation and drives right in for an easy layup. Another example of James Harden attacking early in the game. They try to run a little bit of kind of single down action or point action here. It's covered, so Capella just steps up for a kind of like a side ball screen. In this drop coverage, you might as well just be allowing Harden to go right to the rim for a wide open layup. And then when they did help off of the ball screen, the 76ers really paid for it. So here we can see on this drag ball screen, Capella rolls to the rim, Tobias Harris tags inside. It's an easy kick to Eric Gordon for a 3. Another example of getting 2 on the ball. Basically, Capella's gonna roll here. We get Ben Simmons helping right off of Eric Gordon for no reason. Don't know why he's helping there. The Rockets ran Spain ball screen for 2 easy scores, and you can see how it creates confusion. So we see Eric Gordon is setting the back screen on the ball screener. Ben Simmons gets caught too low on Capella again. Eric Gordon open 3. And then in this example, we're gonna see how Spain pick and roll can create a lot of confusion. So we're gonna see Eric Gordon setting the back screen here on Capella. We're gonna see Ennis and Butler both go with Eric Gordon, and Capella's wide open on the roll, and we get a foul. A great after timeout set by the Rockets is a counter to their punch backdoor set. Their punch backdoor set normally would be a pass to Chris Paul in the post here. Austin Rivers dives through, and then he can either cut backdoor or come off a down screen. In this play, we're going to see Jimmy Butler get caught weak side holding on Austin Rivers, and that leaves the hammer or flare screen weak side open. The Detroit Pistons had a good sellout on a bounce set that I call Chicago action. Here we can see Maker screening for Andre Drummond. Here's a pin down into a dribble handoff for Kennard. I call that Chicago action. When he comes off this handoff, it's basically a ball screen read at this point. We're reading what Selden's doing. 3 Chicago Bulls players are kind of sagging off, so we hit the floater. My favorite sellout on a bounce set of the night comes from the Raptors. Here we can see a screen down for Norm Powell into a ball screen, and then Powell's going to run off a flare screen from Ibaka. This is similar action that the Miami Heat used to run for Ray Allen, as well as what the Trailblazers run for Dame and CJ and different players in different scenarios. It's pretty good action and pretty difficult action to guard if you leave the one side of the floor empty. Baseline on a bounds here. You can see the Miami Heat run a simple cross screen set for Dwayne Wade. I like this action because it's pretty simple but difficult to guard at the same time. Wade comes off this little cross screen for a curl, little half spin hesitation pull up. The late game, end of game set from the Utah Jazz here is a decoy post up set for Crowder. You can see the simultaneous flare screen and cross screen here to get Crowder into the post. After the ball is entered into the post, Kyle Korver is going to step in bounds and receive a flare screen from Rudy Gobert. After the flare screen, Gobert is going to turn immediately and set a screen for Kyle Korver to come off towards the post up. This is what I call wiper action because it looks like a windshield wiper. This is a common action that has been run for Kyle Korver since his Atlanta Hawks days. That's going to do it for this episode of the NBA Breakdown Show. Once again, thank you for watching. Please subscribe and like this video. Drop comments below for a question and answer segment. Check me out on Twitter at halfcourthoops, thebasketballplaybook.com, and I'll talk to you guys next time.